Welcome to a story that will chill your soul and leave you questioning the line between love, culture, and betrayal. What happens when a girl falls for someone forbidden by society, but accepted by tradition? What happens when love turns into a nightmare, and no one is coming to save her? This is not just a story. It's a confession.
I never thought I'd be one of those girls. The kind who hides, lies, and carries a secret so heavy it drags you into darkness. But here I am, pregnant and married to my cousin. And no one knows. We grew up together in Karachi. He was my uncle's son. My father's younger brother's boy. Our families lived just a few blocks apart, and we'd visit every weekend. He was always the quiet type, but there was something about his eyes that made me nervous, even as a child. Maybe I always knew something would happen between us. By the time I was 16, we started talking more. It was innocent at first. A shared joke. A text message here and there. Then it turned into phone calls, whispered words, and emotions I didn't understand. And when he told me he loved me, I was frozen. Because deep down, I loved him too. In our culture, cousin marriage isn't exactly taboo. It's even encouraged in many families. But not mine. My father is strict, conservative, and father once insulted my dad over a land issue. That feud killed everything between our families. But we didn't care. We kept meeting secretly. First in tuition centers, then outside my college. I started lying. My became my cover. I'd say I was at a friend's house when I was really sitting on a park bench, holding hand, dreaming about escaping it all. One night things went too far. We were alone. We were in love. And we crossed a line. The guilt was immediate. I prayed, I cried, I begged for forgiveness, but nothing could undo what was done. That's when said something I never expected. Let's get married. Now. Secretly. I thought he was joking. But he wasn't. He knew an imam in another part of the city who could perform a without wali, not proper, not legal, but enough to make us feel halal. I hesitated, but my fear of being caught, of being pregnant before marriage, pushed me to agree. So, when Friday afternoon, I told my mom I was going to a Quran class. I wore my best black abaya. Was already waiting. We exchanged vows in a small room, with 2 witnesses I'd never met. I was now his wife and no one knew. At first, there was a thrill to it. Secret love. Secret marriage. We met more freely. He'd sneak into my apartment building at night, leave me notes, kiss me, and then the staircase. It was like living in a romantic drama until I missed my period. I waited. 1 week. 2 weeks. Then I bought a test. Positive. I sat on the floor of my bathroom, holding that tiny white stick, and I swear I couldn't breathe. My whole body shook. I didn't know whether to scream or run or faint. Was silent when I told him. Then he said, "We'll figure it out." But he didn't. Days turned into weeks. He became distant. Cold. Stopped replying. Said he was too busy. Avoided meeting. And then, one day he blocked me. Just like that. I went mad. Called from another number. He picked up. And said, "I made a mistake. I can't ruin my family for this. You're on your own now." And he hung up. My world shattered. I couldn't tell anyone. I was a good girl. My family trusted me. My father would literally kill me, and I'm not exaggerating. I started bleeding one night. I thought I was losing the baby. I was alone, clutching my stomach on the bathroom floor, biting my lips so I wouldn't scream loud enough for anyone to hear. That night, I prayed harder than I've ever prayed in my life. Ya Allah, please don't punish the child for my sins. I didn't lose the baby. But I lost everything else. my trust, my peace, my future. Now I am 10 months pregnant and my bump is starting to show. I've stopped going to college. My mom thinks I'm sick. My father thinks I'm just going through stress. They have no idea their daughter is carrying a child from a man she married in secret who now acts like she doesn't exist. Sometimes I wonder if I should end it all. But I touch my belly and feel the tiny life moving and I can't. I want to tell them. I want to scream. I want to say, I married. He is the father of this child. And he betrayed me. But I don't. Because I know what will happen. My father's honor. My mother's heartbreak. My siblings' shame. The whispers in the mosque. The eyes of neighbors. The destruction of an entire family over my vain decision. So, I stay silent. I write this because I can't hold it inside anymore. I hope someone out there hears me. Someone who's on the edge. Someone who thinks secret love is worth it. Please don't make the same mistake I did. There's a strange kind of silence that lives inside me now. It's louder than noise. Heavier than grief. Every morning, I wake up and pretend. I walk past my mother's room, knowing if she saw even a glimpse of my body, she'd start asking questions I'm not ready to answer. I can't pray properly. I try, but every time I raise my hands and whisper, I feel like a liar. I broke every rule. I sinned, thinking I was saving myself. I got married to protect my dignity, but now that dignity is being swallowed whole by my silence. Sometimes, at night, I dream about the baby. A little boy with his father's eyes. He's crying. I try to pick him up but I can't. My hands pass right through him. I wake up gasping. Sweating. Crying. There was a moment, just when I picked up the phone to call a helpline. To tell someone, anyone. But I froze. Because what would I say? Hi, I married my cousin in secret and now I am pregnant and abandoned. Please help. Even writing it down makes me feel disgusting. One time, I broke down in front of my younger sister. I just told her I was going through something. She looked at me with so much innocence and said, Allah will make it easy for you. And I wanted to scream, but what if Allah is punishing me? My mother started noticing. She asked why I keep locking my door. Why I am not eating properly. Why I've stopped attending family gatherings. I said I was tired, that I had stomach pain. The lies keep piling up like bricks on my chest. But the worst part is, he's out there. Living his life. Posting photos. Going to weddings. Smiling. Laughing. While I carry his child and break into pieces alone. A part of me still wants to believe he'll come back. That maybe he's scared too. That he'll call me and say, I made a mistake. I'll fix it. We'll tell them together. But he won't. Deep down, I know. I saw his engagement post. He's marrying someone else in December. A match. With a smiling girl in gold bangles and a caption that said, Alhamdulillah for everything. I wanted to throw up. That night, I stood in front of the mirror and slapped myself. Over and over. I was angry at myself for being so stupid. For trusting him. For ruining my life over a boy who saw me as disposable. I bled from the mouth. And I didn't even care. But then something happened. That same night, I felt the baby move for the first time. It was just a flutter. Like a butterfly trapped under my skin. And suddenly, I knew I couldn't give up. This baby didn't ask for this. He didn't sin. He didn't betray anyone. He's innocent and he deserves a mother who won't break. No matter how broken I am. So I made a decision. I will carry this child. I will hide for as long as I have to. I'll take online classes. I'll avoid all weddings, all gatherings. I'll wear loose clothes. I'll prefer strength. And when the time comes, I'll disappear. I've been saving a little money from tutoring. Not much, but enough to maybe rent a room somewhere for a few weeks. I've already found a lady in another town, she helps women like me. No questions asked. Just safety. And maybe after the baby is born, I'll write a letter to my parents. Tell them everything. Not to beg for forgiveness but to free myself. Because I can't live like a ghost anymore. I can't pretend this life didn't happen. May have forgotten me. But I will never forget the fire he left behind. And when my child is born, I'll name him Neor. Because even in the darkest tunnel I've ever walked through, this baby is the only light I have left. Every morning now feels like a race against discovery. I've started layering my clothes. Oversized shawls. Double. Even in this heat, I suffocate myself and on fabric, just to hide what's growing beneath. I'm entering my 4th month. And I'm terrified. Terrified that one day, my mother will accidentally walk in. That she'll notice the swelling in my belly or the way I walk with my hand resting on my stomach. Terrified that my father, with his explosive temper, will find the truth, and the first place his anger will land is my face. I know what happens to girls in streets like mine. I've heard whispers in the neighborhood. She ran off with a boy. She dishonored her family. They sent her away. Some never come back. I sleep with my ears open. When wrong move, when sound too loud, when tear too many, and it's over. My only escape is the notebook and then my bed. I write letters to my unborn child. Every night. Dear Neor, today I didn't eat. Not because there was no food but because if I eat too much, I'm afraid someone will notice how much weight I've gained. I'm sorry. I promise I'll feed you properly one day. I'll cook for you, clean for you, sing for you. You're not a mistake. You're the only truth I have left. Love. You're broken Emma. I write until my hand cramps. Until the pen ink stains my fingers. Until I fall asleep with my face pressed into the page, praying someone, someday, will read these letters and understand I tried. But I am running out of time. There's stuck of marriage proposals in my house again. Mai has suggested a boy in Lahore, a doctor. Tall. Educated. Religious. My mother's eyes lit up at the mention. She looked at me and smiled. You're still pure, right? She asked softly. I froze. My throat dried up. I smiled back and nodded. She walked away, relieved. I walked into the bathroom and vomited until my body shook. I started contacting that woman again. The one who helps girls. She told me there's a safe home near Faisalabad. Run by women. Discreet. No judgment. I just have to get there before the 6th month before it becomes too obvious. But how do you escape when your life is a prison without bars? I can't ask for a lift. I can't call an Uber. I can't even carry a suitcase, someone will ask where I'm going. I've thought about jumping off the balcony and running barefoot into the night. But I know I won't make it. Not without someone noticing. Not without someone stopping me. And he's vanished. I message him from a fake number again. I'm pregnant. We are married. I need help. He read it. Then blocked that number too. I stared at my phone for 2 hours. My eyes burning. I wanted to call his mother. Show up at his engagement. Scream in front of everyone, he used me. He abandoned me. He left me with his child. But I didn't. Because no one would believe me. They'd say I seduced him. That I planned it. That I wanted this. And I'm just so tired of begging to be believed. But then everything spiraled. One night, I fell unconscious in the kitchen. It was the exhaustion, the hunger, the heat. I woke up to my mother's face hovering above me, panic written in every line. She was crying. My father was shouting. My sister was holding my hand. And then the words slipped out. Call a doctor, she's pregnant. The room went silent. My ears were ringing. My vision blurred. I could feel the world collapsing inward. My father's breath stopped. My mother backed away like I was diseased. My sister dropped my hand. And just like that, the truth was bare. Not the baby. The shame. My father slapped me so hard my head hit the wall. I remember the taste of blood. I remember the scream, not from him, from me. I remember the silence afterward. It was worse than the slap. They locked me in my room for 2 days. No food. No water. Just whispers behind the door. I heard my mother sobbing. I heard my father making calls. I heard my sister saying, "What will people say?" No one asked how I felt. No one asked what happened. No one asked who the father was. Because they already assumed. They assumed I was filth. My mother finally opened the door on the third day. She didn't look at me. Just placed a glass of milk on the floor like I was a stray animal. Drink this. You'll need energy. For what? I whispered. For the abortion. I screamed. Cried. Fell to her feet. Please don't take this baby away. Please. I'm married. I'm not lying. He used me. He left me. But this child is mine now. It's all I have left. She slapped me too. Shut up. You think you have choices now. I tried to show her the papers, had sent a blurry photo months ago. She tore it into pieces. This isn't real. You're not his wife. You're just a mistake. But I had one card left. A recording. One night, months ago, when said I accept during our overcall, I had saved it. Not because I thought I'd need proof, but because it felt sacred. And now it was my only protection. I played it. The room went still. My mother sank into the bed. My sister gasped. My father left the room without a word. They couldn't deny it anymore. I was married. I was pregnant. And I had been abandoned. But now they were too ashamed to show their faces. They sent me away. Not to the safe house. Not to the clinic. But to an old relative's house in another city. An aunt they barely speak to. Someone who doesn't ask questions. She gave me one room. One mattress. One fan. No sympathy. Just a closed door and silence. And here I sit. Alone. 6 months pregnant. No husband. No money. No family. But alive. And every night, I write to Neor again. Dear Neor. When you'll ask about your father. I'll tell you the truth. That he left us. That he didn't fight. That he didn't love enough. But I did. I loved you enough to carry you through shame, through pain, through fire. You are not a mistake. You are my redemption. Love. Emma.
This is more than a story, it's a haunting reflection of thousands of hidden lives across South Asia. Young girls living under pressure, choosing silence over survival. If you're listening to this and you're scared, know this: secrets don't stay buried forever. And the truth always comes at a cost. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because stories like this deserve to be heard.